Hello everyone, GameGoddessFee here. We're back today with more Ace Attorney. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. We had to wait on the cable man, you guys. He was here, just left. Anyway, but yeah, that's why we on a little late. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started since we already late. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. All right. How we good?
What Larry's hiding?
Check out this game some. All right, we got Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit, Episode 5. Turnabout for the Ages, Ladder. One, hold on. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
We on 19.
19. Hold on. Why? That's my software that switched up. I wonder why it won't. It's frozen, you guys. Hold on. Hey, Dave, you first. How you doing today? Dave first. Hey, welcome to the stream. We on late. The cable man was here, so the direct TV guy. So that's why we kind of late. But yeah, we're gonna do a stream tonight. I hope you're having a good time at work. I said a good time. My game. Who played the cable guy?
Huh?
The cable guy. You don't know that movie.
No.
That's an old movie. Hold on, my screen's still stuck, y'all. Let's see. Let me see what's going on. And Pluminator, he's sitting up there trying to get the cat. I'm like, come on, the stream. We already late. Let's see if this will work. You see, not bad today. Almost done. That's good. Look, I know you count down the days to vacate time. Let's see if it is. I'm trying to see if it's going to pop back up. There we go. All right, middle, the truth behind the SS-5 incident. All right, you ready, Plum? Yeah. All right, let's go. April 6th, 4:51 p.m. Big building. Empty lot. Is this where we was? I thought he ran away.
Yeah, we caught him.
Ah, yeah, we caught up to him.
Kid, bro.
Huh? All right, let's go. Sean? Come on.
He was my dad? It can't have been easy, learning the truth about his father's identity so unexpectedly. And too late to ever get to know him. You know how hard I tried to find him?
Sean?
I get it! He was the president! He had a lot more to think about than just me! But he was right there in front of me! Right there on the set! So why? Why didn't he just say something? Why didn't he tell me who he was?
Oh, sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault, Mom. It's mine. If I hadn't broken my promise to you, that fire would have never happened and he wouldn't have... I've ruined everything. everything. It's all my fault. I even ruined your flowers.
Sean, please, you mustn't blame yourself. Just try to be here with me. Just for a little while.
The bond between parent and child, symbolized by the lion lily. I'm no expert, but it's native to Zhang-Fa, so I know that much at least.
Sadly, we don't have the luxury of dwelling on such things just now. I know it might seem insensitive, Agent Lang, but sentimentality won't help us here. We need to focus on what we can do about the case before us.
You're right.
I believe we have learned all we need to... What? I believe we've learned all we need to about what happened back then for now. How did it all line up with your father's theories about the case?
I wouldn't know. He took those to the grave with him.
I don't even got my glasses.
You can't see.
I'm blind, y'all.
He never shared his thoughts with anybody. There's no way of knowing now what he figured out.
What about your own thoughts? Are you feeling any more positive in light of what we learned from case reconstruction? Are we any closer to learning what really happened 12 years ago?
You know, I think we might be. My father's footsteps are starting to become clear. Now all we need to do is follow them. All the way to the truth. Let's argue with each other in the parking lot again.
The real story of the SS-5 incident.
The president went to the orphanage that night. That much we know for sure. The Torosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelia Finn, whatever her name is. Except he was kidnapped, and Alldown happened to see it. If Alldown hadn't been there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping. Instead, they had to move his body to the planners and stage that photo that threw everybody off the scent.
So that's our current theory, is it?
SS-5 incident case file data updated in my organizer. 12-year-old incident in which President Wang was kidnapped and a sole witness was murdered.
But there's something I still don't understand.
There is?
This. Why we're staging the picture. They would have had to force the president to play along. What if he didn't?
That's a good question. And we may be closer to discovering the answer than we think. We'll just have to get there one deduction at a time.
Yeah, I guess we will. Alright, deduce away.
Rebuttal the real story of the SS-5 incident. The president went to the orphanage that night, that much we know for sure.
Hold it!
Nothing should be taken for granted at this stage. We need to treat even the seemingly certain with caution. Can we really be sure that the president went to the orphanage? Except of the picture that we have of him at the orphanage.
I get it. You want evidence.
It's nice. This is a nice change of pace from people asking you to show them proof, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
There's no need to actually say it out loud, Kay.
The Torosaurus toy proves it. You must have gone there to meet with Amelie Finn.
What is? How do you say the name? Amelie.
The plushie? It has a recording device concealed inside it, correct?
It does, and it was used by Sean's mother, Millie.
To record a message asking the president to meet her at the orphanage at midnight. Amelia. Is it Amelia? Okay.
I had to think for a second.
Really? You called her Amelia? Okay, Amelia. Amelia.
Whoa, you're finishing each other's sentences now. What a team. You two will peel away the layers of the truth like an onion. I'm sure of it.
You do realize that there's nothing underneath all the layers of an onion, don't you, Kay? Could you try to say something a little less unfortunate sounding?
You two will peel away the layers of the truth like the skin of a wolf. I'm sure of it.
He said less unfortunate sounding. Shall I continue?
Except he was kidnapped and Al Down happened to see it.
Hold it!
Could we go over the details once again? So Mr. Alldown saw the president being kidnapped from right by the orphanage.
And he was standing next to the snowman?
The murderer crept up behind him, grabbed the brick and... Ow!
Eek!
Calm down, Kay. We're simply verifying our understanding of events.
Yeah, well, that little outburst just blew my understanding out of my ears. I know we have to go over all this again, but can we do it less dramatically?
Really? Fine. I'm happy to keep answering if you're happy to keep asking.
If Aldan hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping.
Hold it!
If Mr. Alldown hadn't been there, huh? That's an interesting suggestion. Care to explain?
There's not a whole lot to explain. He saw the kidnapping, so he was murdered. If he hadn't been there, maybe the kidnapping could have happened without any blood being spilled.
But could it?
He makes it sound as if it was Mr. Aldown's fault he was murdered.
That's not what Agent Lang is saying, Kay. What he means is that Mr. Alldown was the only person who died at the orphanage that night.
Well, of course he was. They kidnapped the president and everything. But the ransom was paid and he came home safely, right?
She's right, of course. But why does something bother me about that? I think it might be worth taking another look over all the evidence.
Finished discussing things with your assistant, Mr. Prosecutor? Then let's continue, shall we?
Instead, they had to move his body to the planters and stage that photo to throw everybody off the scent.
Hold it!
This is another very important part of our current theory. Shall we go over all the details again?
Sure, probably a good idea. Alright, first, what did Alldown see? He saw the president being kidnapped from right in front of the building.
But the kidnappers were keen to avoid any suggestion that they might be connected with the orphanage.
Yep, so they replaced the film in Alldown's camera and staged a photograph of the kidnapping occurring further away from the building.
Indeed. And then they moved Mr. Alldown's body to a location consistent with what the picture showed.
The secrets buried underneath the snow 12 years ago are finally coming to light.
Okay, that was bad.
And we're sure that's really what happened that night? What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
I get the sense we're still not seeing everything. That there's something else at play behind it all.
There is, but what?
There's a piece of evidence we've discovered that Agent Lang's theory can't explain. We have to present him with it and develop our thinking further.
What evidence he talking about? What's wrong with you?
I'm laughing at them. I don't know. It seems kind of cheesy. I don't know why. It's cause like nobody's arguing, so they're just saying,
We're gonna do it!
you was never gonna figure this out, so I just tell you, it's like the fourth statement, and it's the blood, because the blood didn't belong to Mr. Alldown.
If Aldown hadn't been there, there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping. See, it's the blood.
Yeah.
Objection!
Fishy, how's it going tonight? How you doing? You number 2?
I'm number 2.
I hope you're doing well tonight, Fishy.
You're saying there would have been no murder if Mr. Alldown hadn't witnessed the kidnapping? But is that really the case?
Why wouldn't it be? The main aim was to abduct the president, right? So if there hadn't been a witness present, they wouldn't have needed to murder anybody.
Doing well tonight. I appreciate you for asking. Just came on here a little late, but we're here. But yeah, everything is great.
And yet it remains possible that Mr. Alldown wasn't the only person killed that night. There was a large pool of blood between the planters, but Mr. Alldown was murdered over by the snowman. It can't have belonged to him! What if all that blood by the planters belonged to somebody else?
Come on, Mr. Prosecutor.
You said this is probably going to be personal, so don't answer if you don't want to. But what do you do for work? I work for a major hospital here, posting payments, patient payments.
Ooh, she finna get fired. She finna get fired. Hey, be quiet, be quiet.
I'm gonna get fired. Yeah, that's what I do. I work for a major hospital.
You do realize what you're saying, don't you?
Yeah, you do realize what you're saying, don't you? Oh, shit. No, I was saying his words to you.
You know, you said it's fancy. Look.
He be complaining all the time, bro. She hate.
I'm not even gonna say fancy, but I like what I do. I like what I do. It's just, it gets tedious sometimes.
All right, what makes it tedious? What makes it tedious?
What makes it tedious? You know, people still write out checks or whatever.
Yeah, what else?
You said it's at the medical building, the hospital. Yeah, you know, it's a system of hospitals.
Okay.
And what makes it tedious is people still write out checks and they don't send the invoice. You have to find their accounts.
Okay. And what else?
And then when the checks bounce, so I have to put the money back on their account.
Okay.
Go ahead, pull on later. It gets interesting, but yeah, that's what I do. Did you read that?
Oh no, wait, you skipped one.
Oh
my god!
I'm just going all over.
This is July, but okay. Go.
I do.
You do realize when you day. That's how you sound. Now.
I do. It's hard to believe. I'll be the first to admit it, but it's what the evidence suggests.
Oh, really, Dave? Okay. We work from home. We were at the building until they sent us all home. So, I like being at home too. Don't have to deal with the traffic. This can't be happening. The bad Wi-Fi has begun. It's my stream acting up. I know it's been acting up the last few nights.
It's just the stream, clipping. Not just one person was killed here 12 years ago, but two!
You're saying they covered up a whole separate murder? But whose? Who was killed that night?
Gotcha.
Whoever covered up this other homicide did so very skillfully indeed. They even seem to have been able to avoid it being mentioned in the files. But they didn't quite get rid of everything. We have a piece of evidence from 12 years ago that they never managed to erase. This clearly shows something that... What? What? Wait? This clearly shows that something else happened that night.
What you mean, what? You were talking.
It's St. Mary's, Dave.
Oh, you see how dogs this, bro.
We finna get dogs. It's over.
And all the rest of them.
Yep, and all the rest of it. Yep.
What can you say? This clearly shows that something else happened that night.
Mm-hmm.
This right here.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. That's how I draw. That's what my drawings look.
Yeah.
That's why I fed that art class. Excelsius Winner tried to shroud the existence of the other murder in darkness. But there was one piece of evidence he wasn't able to suppress. Thanks to the efforts of your father, Agent Lang.
My father?
Cast your mind back, if you will. Something else was hidden along with all the other evidence from the crime scene. The existence of the child who set fire in front of the orphanage. Set the fire, whatever. But why would Chairman Winner wish to erase him from the record? Because he saw something he should not have. That's why.
He did? What was it?
It's right here, in this picture.
The picture my father kept!
I think we can all agree that there's the president on the right-hand side.
Who is that? Who is that? Is that a lady?
Wait, what?
What is that right there? The other person with the one eye.
Y'all know who that is?
We've seen him before.
Ah, I know who that is. The dude that's in the prison.
Yes.
And that's the Torosaurus toy in his hand. But who's that standing across from him? It's Pearl Fay, who's like 8 years old at the time, I think.
Take that!
What's his first name? Say his first name. Eastern robes and a black dog? That can only be Baden Hormaganis.
Really?
Eastern
You harmed whose body?
Eastern robes and a black dog? Black dog?
What? The creepy assassin guy?
And what would a hired killer be doing in the presence of a president? I can think of only one thing. That's right! It wasn't a kidnapping that occurred here 12 years ago! It was an assassination! Ah!
And what in the garden? Chairman Winner? Where?
Yes, I think they were complicit. More than complicit, in fact. One provided the venue for the killing, and the other suppressed the testimony of the child who witnessed it. Mr. Aldown was murdered because what he witnessed was actually an assassination, and not the kidnapping he thought it to be at all! Do you think I'm an idiot? How could the president have died 12 years ago? We only found his body this morning! He was alive and well until just recently!
Yeah, we even met him.
Indeed. So we have a president killed 12 years ago, and a president killed in the last 48 hours. 2 presidents, in other words.
Right, which is completely impossible.
Or is it? I think it's entirely possible for there to be 2 presidents. In fact, that would explain a lot. But regardless of what happened, I still respected him. Zhang Fonda may not be a big country, but he held that place together. The president Agent Lang spoke of was a noble and capable leader. The presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Entirely unlike the man we met. It really did seem as if there were 2 completely different people. But how could one country have 2 presidents? What could explain a situation like that? This is how it may be possible for there to be 2 presidents. They were twins separated at birth, and they just wore the same suits. And they looked at like each other all the time.
One was a body double?
Yeah. One of the 2 was a body double. Tell me that doesn't make sense. A body double? President Wang was a man of great power and influence in Zhengfa, a figure on the world stage. There must have been countless attempts on his life over the years. Such as the one at Gourd Lake only a few days ago. It's true, there were more than a few assassination attempts. But that doesn't mean I'm about to accept that there was more than one president! Not without proof! Do we have any proof that there was more than one president?
He done threw me in left field now. Do we have proof? This
Nope.
right here?
Nope.
We don't have proof.
Do we?
This?
Wait, can you read this right quick?
Hold on. He was supposed to meet it ain't Amelia.
What is it? I'm just gonna call her Amelia, forgive me.
And at the orphanage at midnight, witness F. Can't say his last name. Witness F. Down.
Wait, Alf? Like the movie character?
I guess Alf was murdered. His body moved, and a photograph of a kidnapped was staged. February 10th, 12 years ago. This ain't it, this.
I think that's it.
This it?
Yeah, that's it.
You don't know.
This is it.
Hey, Angel, how's it going? Look, I didn't even know you watched this.
Why do you watch this?
I thought you only, showed up for the Zelda streams. I didn't know you was into Ace Attorney.
Don't watch this, Angel Weave, please.
And it surely is. It just threw me into left field right now. Let me see.
Take that!
Okay, wait.
I don't think he's noticed the contradiction staring him in the face. Or is he just unable to accept it? What's the matter, Mr. Prosecutor? You're pretty quiet all of a sudden. In Amelia Finn's recording, she asked the president to be at the orphanage at midnight. But it shouldn't have been possible for him to be there at that time.
Huh? How come?
Because he was supposedly still at the embassy. With your father, Agent Lang! So he had noticed. The only way he could have been in two places at once, if there was two of him. Ow!
So the real president, that was the one who...
Died 12 years ago? I think it might have been.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I hadn't heard of it either until he mentioned it. And my son, he got me to playing it. So yeah, we've been playing it. We started with the first game, and it's all good. I love it.
She hated so much.
I love it. I love the suspense of it all and trying to figure out what's going on with it.
But why? And who? Who would have hired... Who would have hired... Who would have hired that boy? But why? And who? Who would have hired Connors to murder the president? In order to figure that out, we'll need to look again at a piece of evidence we recently discovered was a fake. The fake evidence. What was it again? Did you forget, children? Nope. Actually, wait, yes. Yes, actually. Yeah.
It is a good game. I was waiting for y'all to play it again after the last stream. Right. Look, it did leave off at a cliffhanger. That one shocked me as well.
Take that!
The picture taken with Mr. Alden's camera was staged sometime after his murder. And Mr. Alden was murdered because he witnessed the president's assassination. In other words, the photograph too must have been taken after the real president's death. So who is the president in this staged photograph? The body double. Nothing else makes sense.
But how was he able to be the president anyway?
I believe the president's double had him killed, so it could take his place permanently. An Excelsius winner and Fifi Lagarde helped him do it. Wait, you don't even have a body to support your theory! Are you telling me it magically disappeared? No. In fact, we know exactly where it wound up. The president's body was here the whole time. Kay, you stole it, didn't you? When you was like 5 years old.
Under here?
Yep.
Take that!
Chairman Winner dug something up last night. Something he couldn't trust anybody else to retrieve, whatever.
Dave said this is his favorite one too. Right. It is a fun game. I enjoy it.
We thought it might have been the ransom money, but it was actually something even more important.
Wait, you mean?
That's right. The real president's body. I think it's highly likely anyway. What?
Why would they dig it up all those years later?
Because they was gonna find it. The body may have decomposed in the intervening years, but the bones would surely have remained. Mr. Powers informed us that the construction is due to start here sometime soon.
Ah, that's why.
Everything had to be wrapped up before then. The shooting of the movie and the recovery of the president's remains.
Yeah, I guess once they started digging the place up, they would have found them pretty quick, huh?
Agent Lang, we need to have the so-called monster footprints analyzed again. Yeah, I guess we do. If there was a body under one of them, there should still be trace evidence to confirm it. Hey, give me somebody from forensics! Sir, presenting the findings of our analysis, sir. Traces of human remains were found in the dirt, along with other signs of a body having been buried. So it really was him. Bones were also recovered from the home of Excelsius Winner. The physique looks to be about right, and dental and medical records are a match. It's him, no doubt about it.
That was quick.
So as suspected, the real President Wang was killed 12 years ago.
That was his son?
Well, the real president was still Sean's dad, but he also died 12 years ago.
And the SS-5 kidnapping was in fact a homicide.
Once the footprints data updated my organizer, the concrete was broken and the earth exposed after Excelsius Winter dug up President Wang's corpse. Wow, so it really was a murder, huh? This case has taken so many twisted turns, I'm starting to lose track.
Yes, perhaps we should summarize our findings just to confirm that we understand everything correctly.
Good idea. Let's go over everything from the point where the president arrived at the orphanage.
Even they know this John confused.
12 years ago, the real President Wang visited the orphanage. His aim? To meet his infant son. The footprints we originally assumed to be those of Mr. Aldown seem likely to have actually been made by the President upon his arrival. But instead of being greeted by his child, he was met by the assassin, Bardet Harmakanus.
That's so sad. He was hoping to see his baby for the first time, only to...
Indeed. But at least with Mr. Connors, we can be sure that the job was swiftly and effectively completed.
At least he was killed fast. Like,
But then, after the assassination, another tragedy occurred.
Mr. Aldown's murder?
Yes, it seems he witnessed the key moments in the event's proceedings. The moment when our culprits, the so-called kidnappers, took the president's body around to the side of the building. That was the sight that sealed his fate. We've now established that he was standing by the orphanage gates at the time. Far enough away that he believed what he was seeing was the president's abduction. At which point...
Oh, the body double who had come to meet up with his co-conspirators walked right up behind Mr. Aldown,
leading to our unfortunate eyewitness
being murdered by the man who was plotting to replace the president. So, was it the body double who moved Mr. Aldown's body too?
Yes, I think it probably was.
But none of the footprints could have been his, could they?
Actually, I think they could. In fact, we have a piece of evidence that proves how that particular trick was achieved. Which shows us how the body double managed to move the body without leaving any footprints. He used the force to float. Jedi exist, Kay! They're real!
it's the shoes.
Take that!
What if the president's double moved Mr. Aldown's body like this? After killing Mr. Aldown, he could have carried him to the other side of the entrance. Given that his job was to just look like the president, he would have been wearing the same shoes. Meaning that if he stepped exactly in the footprints left by the real president.
Of course. He would have been the same shape and size. It would have looked like a single set of footprints.
I feel like that'd be hard to do under pressure, but okay.
So that's how it all went down. I'm so glad we finally figured it out. Wait, but there's one thing I still don't get.
There is? What?
Why did they need to pretend there was a kidnapping?
Mr. Alldown had seen the president at the orphanage and left a message on Miss Ringer's phone describing what he thought he saw. It would have been impossible for the co-conspirators to erase that message. I don't know why I say co, the conspirators. So they had to make it look as if the events described in the message were true.
By staging the kidnapping like the one he thought he saw.
Exactly. I think the two people in the photograph are likely to be the body double and Fifi Lagarde. How she looked.
She's the one in the trench coat? How can you be so sure of that?
The two of them would have had to walk out beyond the orphanage gates to stage the photo. The body double could have put his feet in the real president's prints as he did before.
Oh, so the other set of footprints for hers?
The ones we originally thought belonged to the killer, yes. They were about a size 9, too small for Chairman Winner in other words. Which means the kidnapper must have been played by Warden Lagarde. And that explains how a so-called kidnapping was actually a presidential assassination. It does! Which means my father must have... He must have... noticed. There's no way he wouldn't have suspected a murder. Especially not with this kid's picture as proof.
But the picture was never officially put into evidence, correct?
No. He appears to have kept hold of it after taking the witness statement of the child who drew it. Yeah, because he knew. He knew President Wang was dead. And he knew what would happen if that news ever got out. Zhang Fa would have been plunged into chaos, no doubt. So he kept it a secret, and the secret died with him. Even though he meant taking the blame for the kidnapping and our family name being ruined. So your father knew the truth about what had happened 12 years ago, but he chose to hide it.
Well, it's finally coming to the light at last. SS-5 incident case file data updated in my organizer. 12-year-old incident in which President Wang was kidnapped and the sole witness was murdered.
Is it indeed? Intriguing.
Huh?
What? Who's there? The sound. Is that a bell? Buttonhorber Cornus! What are you doing here? What a law! You think you can just show up in front of us like it ain't a problem? Forgive me, but I couldn't help but overhearing the fascinating conversation you were having. The opportunity to gloat over your past crimes was just too good to miss, I expect. You killed President Wang! I did, but it's not something I'm inclined to gloat over. I was more interested in something else you mentioned. Or someone else, should I say. Someone you're looking for, I suppose.
Exactly. That's why I took a little sojourn from the penitentiary to find a certain young pup. A young pup in a rather eye-catching red raincoat. What?
Wait, you know who they are?
In a manner of speaking. What did you call them again? A secret mastermind? It's your friend of the rain. Well, it's your friend in the rain, right?
I can't say it.
It's your friend in the red raincoat, of course. Red raincoat? The prosecutor looks a little surprised, doesn't he, Helmut? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. The young pup I mentioned. He saved my life, 12 years ago. 12 long years ago.
Whatever.
My unexpected savior.
As you have surmised, it was I who killed President Wang. But that meant that I too became an inconvenience in need of removal. The imposter president, Winner, Legord, all three were keen to guarantee my silence. And if I hadn't met my friend, the young pup again, they might even have succeeded. I wonder what he's doing now. So it was the president's body double who hired you? I remember his words almost as if they were yesterday. Whatever. You know how many times I've almost been killed?
I can't read, bro. I was just making stuff up now.
You know how many times I've nearly been killed? Not once, not twice, a bunch of times. Why do I have to take all the risk? Why am I the one they always put in danger? When I'm out there being him, people treat me like I was him. They worship me. So what's the difference? Who's to say I couldn't be just as good as him? There was a difference, of course, even if he looked and sounded exactly like him. Just because it walks and talks like a president, that doesn't make it a president, does it, boy? No.
So he got his wish and became the boss, but couldn't quite fill his predecessor's shoes.
Rook's not around. That means I'm number one.
I wonder if you have what it takes to step into such capable shoes.
You... Of course I do! I'm the leader now! Me!
Seems the king and his knight were much the same.
The president's double knew that his employer had a weakness. A young woman named Amelia, whatever her name is. I forgot. But in order to find her, he needed to enlist the help of the locals.
Locals such as Chairman Winner.
Once Miss Finn had been located, they simply needed the right time to lay their trap.
The meeting she arranged so the president could meet his son? It would have been the perfect opportunity.
Indeed. And with the head of the orphanage brought into the fold, the little conspiracy was complete.
Warden Legord.
Now, quid pro quo. Where might I find the pup?
What makes you think the boy who helped you in our mysterious string puller are one and the same?
He set a little fire that night, out there in the yard of the orphanage.
Oh, yeah, we saw that. It was some kind of a prank, right?
The prank? It was nothing of the sort, my dear. No, as I understand it, he had taken refuge. He had taken refuge in the igloo by the entrance.
Refuge.
From there, he happened to see Winner and Legord carrying away a dead body. He also overheard them hatching a certain sordid little plot. A plot to remove me, the only person who knew what had really happened, from the picture. Thankfully, he was kind enough to come and inform me. I was waiting inside the building, you see. He also happened to mention later on that he was wearing his favorite red raincoat. In any case, he escorted me from the premises. And, being a very considerate boy, thought to erase both our footprints from the scene of the crime. It seems he had a little kerosene set aside in the igloo for just such an occasion. This boy's Chucky right here. So he spread it liberally around the place and set himself a little fire.
No way. So that's what the fire was for?
It must have been ever so beautiful. Winner and Lagarde were positively enchanted. And while they were distracted by the show, he took the opportunity to usher me out of a side entrance.
You never answered my question. Really think he's the one behind all this?
I do indeed. Don't I, Helmut? Yes, I do.
Rebuttal. My unexpected savior.
I'm just gonna tell you one.
You know, but after you have surmised, it was I who killed President Wang.
I think press the fourth one.
The fourth statement.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't met my friend, the young pup, again, they might even have succeeded. Hold it!
Again? So the two of you have met before?
Yes, on a cold and lonely Christmas Eve, 18 years back.
Not long ago?
But on that occasion, it was I who saved his life. It was snowing, more than it had in years, and cold enough that death by freezing was a real possibility. I had taken Helmut out for a little walk. He noticed something and bounded off through the snow. When I caught up to him, he was sniffing at a car. The doors had frozen shut. It took all the strength I had, but eventually I managed to open one. And inside I found two young boys, shivering and semi-conscious.
Two?
Yes, and had I found them even an hour later, the poor wretches would never have made it. I took them both to a nearby orphanage.
Is it me, or was there something significant about what he just told us?
There he is.
There is!
What is it about Connors' statement that's especially noteworthy? No.
What?
The date!
The date?
The date!
You said 18 years
Wait, were they in a Ford Nissan? You have to tell me.
We should... This was on Christmas Eve 18 years ago. You're certain of that?
I am.
Holy smokes!
We have something that shows
why that date is so significant. Significant when I say... Which piece of evidence relates to the date on which Mr. Connors found the children?
I have forgotten. Hello. I have forgotten. What's up, Green Queen 801? How you doing tonight?
You see, as well, back in the day, me and Greg, we used to go out on Christmas Eve. That's it. That's it.
Anything else with the story, Pender?
Nope, that's it.
What is it?
IS-7.
I'll just present it.
No, not that.
Ooh.
I said IS-7.
Ah, my
That
bad.
tip was significant.
What is that? No one wanted.
What is that?
Where is IS-7?
Back. Right. There you go. 18 years ago.
Take that!
That was the same day on which a certain incident occurred. The murder of a well-known sculptor.
No way.
An incident in the aftermath of which 2 children went missing. The son of the victim, Orty Frost, and the son of the murderer, Carmelo Gusto. Yeah, now that you mention it, the little guys did go AWOL, huh?
Intriguing. The son of a murderer and the son of his victim. I suppose that would make sense.
It would?
One of the boys was bound hand and foot, you see.
That must have been part of Mr. Frost's plan to stop Mr. Gusto's son from getting to the competition.
Indeed, because without his son to taste his creations, Mr. Gusto would have had no chance of winning.
So that was what's behind it all. Sadly, neither of the boys were able to remember any such details.
They weren't?
No. When we met each other again on that night 12 years ago, the young pup explained it to me. It seems that they really were on the brink of death when I found them. And the shock of the experience caused them both to lose their memories. They weren't even able to remember their names.
Wow, so they wouldn't have known they were Mr. Frost and Mr. Gusto's kids?
If what he's telling us is true, that would seem likely, yes. Which means we still don't have enough to tell us who our mastermind might be. Mr. Carnes, would you mind telling us what happened next?
By all means.
The pup and I.
The pup and I remained in contact, even after I went sent to prison. But then, I stopped hearing from him. I couldn't help but worry. And then, people from 12 years ago started cropping up all over the place. It rather piqued my curiosity, so I thought I'd temporarily regain my freedom and look into things.
People from 12 years ago. You mean Lagord, Winner, and the President, I assume?
Well, Warden Lagard was in charge of the prison where he was an inmate this whole time, right?
I fear I wasn't as kind to her as I could have been. But then, she did try to have me killed. You already know why, of course.
Because you murdered President Wang, but they needed the world to believe he was still alive. If somebody had exposed the president as a fake, it would have been bad for Lagord and Chairman Winner, too.
Exactly. And not only that, I happened to overhear something else intriguing that night.
I think, is it Lagord?
I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the night. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him.
Oh wait, that's Amelia or
Yeah,
something. I think. Whatever.
I thought you could meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye.
Huh? Who are you? Sorry, but I'm waiting for somebody. I know who you are, President Wang. I couldn't help overhearing the news. Congratulations. But please don't worry about your son. I only kill those who I am employed to kill, which in this case means you.
No,
Wait! This is my first chance to meet him! And it might be my only chance! Please! Give me just a few minutes longer! I thought he was going to beg for his life, but no. An interesting character. I told him I was not aware that he had a child. No, he said, and shook his head. Neither was I, but the world will know that I have one now. I mean to make sure of it. I've even prepared something in case the worst comes to worst. And the son in question, it was the young gentleman with the horns here, correct?
Horns? You can see them?
I don't need to, my dear. I've been listening very carefully, you see. And for longer than you may realize.
So the president meant to tell the world about Sean, and prepared something in case of the worst. But it's not enough to simply have Connors' word on the matter.
Of course! We have something that proves what he's willing. What? We have something that proves what he's telling us the president said is true. The will. A will everybody knew about. He entrusted it to my family to show his belief in us after all. The name in the recording, the preparations he made, and his will. With those 3 pieces of information, I was able to convince Juan Lagoa to do anything I asked.
With the information at his disposal, he could have exposed the truth about the body double at any time. And Sean's true identity with it.
President Wang was more agile than I'd anticipated. He blocked my first knife thrust with something soft. By the time the piece I had broken off hit the snow, my next strike had hit its mark.
So it was Connors who tore the horn off the Torosaurus doll.
I was the only one present to hear his final words. The only one who knew the truth about his son. Well, me and that poor pup.
Rebuttal, the pup and I.
Okay, press the first statement.
The pup and I remained in contact even after I was sent to prison.
Hold it!
So you were able to continue communicating. I can't hear you. Wait, let me take it back real quick. So you were able to continue communicating with him from the prison?
I was. Via a post office box.
Youngins, what's that?
It's a means of exchanging mail without revealing one's own address.
I never knew where he was, and I wasn't able to slip out and track him down. I was being kept under rather strict supervision, you see.
By Warden Lagoa, no doubt. What were the two of you even communicating about?
We were playing correspondence chess, of course. That, and griping about our respective lots in life.
Correspondence chess? But then you used to play that with...
As unlikely as it may seem. That's a typo! Ha! We should. As unlikely as it may seem, Mr. Connors' chess opponent was...
Mr. Knight? Yeah, it was Mr. Knight.
We found the diagram of the game in his cell too.
Correspondence chess diagram that I jotted down in my organizer. Sent to Bronco Knight by Bahad Bukoma Connors. Printed rather than handwritten.
So, does that mean Knight has something to do with all this IS-7 business? Wait, could that be it? Do we have any evidence that might connect Knight to the IS-7 incident?
Uh-oh, you see that chess set? Chess set?
Yep.
Take that!
And this is everything Knight left behind. Could there be a clue somewhere? A ring and a chess set. Which one should we look at more closely? Not the chess set. Yes. The ring!
What about it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Mr. Fender, take a closer look at it if you would. That design. That's Paul Halik's trademark mark. Indeed. Looks like somebody turned the stamp he used to sign his work into a ring. Why would Knight have been carrying it? And why was it not with the rest of the evidence from the IS-7 incident? They tried to release Frost's personal effects to his next of kin after the case wound down. Well, if I remember rightly, old Frosty Boy didn't have any family aside from his kid. And the kid was missing, so they never got to hand it back to him. Not till later, anyhow. I heard on the grapevine that they found him in the end and gave him the goods. Including the seal, it would seem. Which he turned into a ring and worn to his own death.
Knight possession data updated in my organizer, a pocket chess set, and a ring Knight made from his father's signature stamp. So we're saying Mr. Knight was Mr. Frost's son?
The cops don't mess around with stuff like that. They would have made sure before handing it over.
And we were looking for somebody connected to the IS-7 incident who played correspondence chess, right?
Wait, so our secret string puller is Bronco Knight?
Objection!
Knight is dead! How could he possibly be involved in our current case? 4 out. So only candidate for genius mastermind is a guy who's already kicked the bucket?
That's impossible. How can a dead guy be behind all this?
It is a little perplexing. But then, who else could it be?
Oh wait, okay, can you go for it? For it. And not this one.
You rather.
No, not this one.
It's not that. Which one is?
Right? Yeah, this one.
I did so used to enjoy tapping out my little letters in Braille.
Alright, now go to this. Evidence. Chess thingy. Something to do with chess thingy again. Not this one. Oh yeah, now. That light better you.
Nope. That's not Braille.
Objection!
You said that you wrote all of your letters in Braille, is that correct? I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Prosecutor, but you do know about my condition, don't you? That's odd, because the chess diagram we found in Knight's cell didn't contain any Braille at all. Really? But surely that's impossible. How so exactly?
Maybe someone typed Mr. Connis's letter out on purpose?
Meaning there may have been some sort of intermediary between the two of them?
So then,
Mr. Connis says he wrote his letters in Braille, and yet the letters received by Mr. Knight contains no Braille at all. This suggests that there must be a third party who typed Mr. Connis's letters out. I guess it could have worked the same way on the flip side too, right? Whoever it was could have taken Knight's letters and turned them back into Braille. And they could indeed.
we're getting a little crazy now. Correspondence chess diagram data
It's not. You finna
updated in my
You
organizer.
finna be like, what? In a second.
Letter from Connis retyped by the mastermind and then sent on to Bronco Knight. Really plum.
I think you and Mr. Knight were both communicating with this person, Mr. Carnes. Mr. Carnes, the answers you received.
They were written in Braille too, yes.
So, some mysterious middle person really was retyping the Bronx's misdeeds.
And that same person
Might well be our secret string puller.
Wait, you're trying to say that there's another hidden mastermind behind this whole thing? So who's this new one?
Franco Knight, son of Orty Frost, is already dead. But what if the other child from the incident 18 years ago was actually who we've been looking for?
Carmelo Gusto's son. But who is he? And where is he?
If Knight was Frost's son, Gusto's son would have to be... I don't know if I should read it in the voice.
I've known him since we were kids.
When both of us were all alone.
Hold on, go ahead.
I've known him since we were kids, when both of us were all alone. He doesn't have any family, you see, just like me.
It's a long time ago.
Him? But surely not.
What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? You're white as a sheet.
Of course. It all makes sense. I know exactly who our so-called mastermind is!
What? Who? You have to tell us.
I can hardly believe it, but it's somebody we know rather well. The person we've been looking for is...
It's the mastermind.
Who said that? I forgot. Saying you don't know since he was a kid, and they were orphans too. I can't remember.
Who knew Knight?
Huh?
Who knew Franco Knight? In the case,
You
in the
talk,
prison.
Shelly the killer?
No, who knew Knight? In the case, in the prison.
In the case who?
In the prison. Who knew Knight? Who did Knight send the chess set to with the chisel?
Oh, hell. Simeon Saint. Didn't they get him out?
Yes.
Take that!
It has to be! The person behind all this! The person who forced Chairman Winter's hand by sending the letter to Rosie Ringer! The person who kidnapped Sean and bugged Kay and myself! The person who did the strangest thing of all! Who drugged Kay and carried her up to the roof of the big building! It was the monster.
What? Did you really just say what I thought you did?
Yes, the monster. That was the key to unmasking our mastermind. No! Oh, I almost forgot! We're, doing a new show soon. I'd love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one.
That's right. The very big circus is the biggest, most fabulous event in town. You have oodles of fun.
Miss Lloyd, could I ask a favor?
Ooh, little old me? What kind of favor?
You told us you recorded the sound of Torosaurus breathing fire. Proof? What kind of proof? Did you capture something on your tape recording, perhaps?
Ooh, you're good, Ruffles. Sharper than what? Anyway, sharper than attack. I captured the sound of that big old beastie breathing fire. Is what I captured. Sure did. Like I said, I didn't precisely see the guy, but boy, did I hear him.
Can we listen to the tape?
You surely can. Let's see now.
That's it.
Hold on.
That's it.
That sound. It must be what I think it is. My theory has to be correct. The truth about the monster, the identity of the person behind all this, it's all falling into place! Miss Holt, you saw a giant's eye at the window of the storeroom, did you not?
Yup. Snapped me a picture of it, too. Even if she can't rightly see it so well.
We can't see it right now, but... Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir! Your image analyzer, can we board it again? Sure, but... What do you want to look at, sir? This photograph right here! Gotcha! I'm on it! The clue we're looking for must be here. We just have to find it.
What are you looking for?
Press a lot.
Ah, right here.
Yeah. No! He was supposed to zoom in.
Ah, oops, my bad.
Okay, zoom in first, then press one. Why? I told you press one!
This right here.
Yeah. Dogs!
See, and I told y'all Torosaurus his own self.
Yes, there it is at last. The monster commanded by the architect of the whole scheme!
Monster! You're finally ready to admit it. That he's well real? The big bad bull himself?
Objection!
No, because that isn't Torosaurus at all. It's the eye of a different giant beast entirely. Take a look at this if you would.
The very big circus flyer. Oh, wait, look!
You see it? The enormous lion balloon? That's the real monster! And the sound Miss Lloyd thought was the creature breathing fire?
Ah, come on, you're really gonna bring me crashing down to Earth like that?
That's how balloons fly, huh? They burn gas to make hot air? They do, and our culprit was able to use that balloon to carry Kay up to the roof of the big building without ever going near the elevator.
So this culprit, they've got something to do with the circus?
Circus worker, friend of the Bronxster, son of Gusto. Whoa, 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 whoa! You're not serious! You forgot to mention trainee animal tamer. It's hard to believe. But he's the one who's been pulling the strings this whole time! That's right! Simeon Saint is the one behind all this!
Uh-oh. Simeon, but everything, really? I don't believe you. We trusted him, and he trusted us. You can't tell me that was our filth. That would be too horrible.
I'm sorry, Kay. Who's that?
Hey! Where do you think you're going, old man?
Nothing escapes you, does it, young pup? My congratulations, Mr. Edgeworth. But now that I know the truth, my business here is done.
What? No! Mr. Cornus! Wait!
How they can't catch a blind man?
Ah! He disappeared!
Are you okay, Mr. Edward?
No worry. I'm fine. But
Ah!
are you alright, Sean?
He killed my dad! He did, right?
There's no easy way to say it, but I'm sorry, Sean. It would appear that he did.
He won't get away with it! I'll make him pay! Somehow, some way,
No, Sean, you mustn't say such things. I'm sorry, Mr. Edward. You'll have to forgive us both.
I just put the call out, sir! All units are on the lookout for Mr. Cornus!
I don't mean to hurry everybody, but we better be on our way too. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, where do you think we'll find our mastermind?
I suppose you're right. We should go after the mastermind right now. He said he had to practice for the show, which I guess means he'll be at the circus. But before we leave, there's something I'd like to ask you, Agent Lang.
There is? What?
Once a beast has been sighted, the next step is to plan its capture. When we arrive, there's something we'll need to try and find as a matter of priority. And Detective, I'd like you to look into something that's been bothering me about Sean's kidnapping.
Yes, sir!
I want to help too, Mr. Edward.
Good. There's somebody I'd like you to try and contact. If Saint really is our mastermind, we're going to need this person's help. Between our many encounters, I never suspected a thing, even though he was right there in front of me. I messed up. There's no other way of putting it. But I'm going to put things right once and for all!
Uh-oh.
Did you expect that?
Nah, I didn't expect that one. I'm sorry, you guys. I appreciate you all for watching. Shut up! Shut up! I forgot to take my mic off mute, and he put his mic on mute. But yeah, I appreciate you all for watching. It was interesting. Thank you, Angel. Yes, it got interesting. Dave, Fishy, Game Queen 81. Thank you all for watching. For chatting, and thank everyone else for watching as well. And yes, you're watching and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd appreciate you go ahead and subscribe. I saw you don't mind hitting that like button. I said, yeah, it was getting interesting, and that plot twist was good. And I said, I can't wait for the next one. Why you mute your mic? No, it seemed like it was on, but anyway. All right, everyone. My bad. You all have a good night. I'll talk to you all on the next one. You all take care.